Hey guys, I'm going to walk you really quickly through an example of how to use this Google form. So it says to completely factor the expression, so I'm going to start there, and I'm going to start with this one. So I noticed, remember your very first step is always to look for a greatest common factor. So I noticed that 4, 28, and 40 can all be divided evenly, or come out to be whole numbers. They're divisible by 4. So that means that my greatest common factor that I'm going to factor out of there is a 4. So if I had 4k to the second and I factored out a 4, that's obviously going to leave me with k to the second. If I had a 28 and I divided out a 4, that's going to leave me with 7. And because it's a negative 28, that leaves me with a negative 7. Okay, and then I had 40, which I factored out of 4, so that left me with 10. So then I had a quadratic trinomial with a is equal to 1. So I needed to figure out, what do I multiply to get c that I can add to get b. And I noticed that I could do negative 2 and negative 5, right? Because negative 2 times negative 5 is 10, and then negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7. So I go to type my answers into the Google form. So I type in, so my greatest common factor that I factored out was 4. And then I had k minus 2. And then I had k minus 5. Okay, I try to go to the next one, and then, it's yelling at me. It's saying, keep trying, your brain is growing. That means I did something wrong, right? But I didn't actually do the work wrong. It's just the directions. Remember that these little self-check forms, like, it's great. You can check your work as you're going, but sometimes it's picky, which is kind of annoying, right? So make sure you pay attention to the directions. So it says to make the self-check function work, type in the format. First of all, the greatest common factor needs to go first, which I did that on the outside. This is where I messed up and didn't look at the directions, because it says to put the smaller constant first and then the larger constant second. So even though we know that the order of these two doesn't make any sense, or doesn't make any difference in real life, whether you put the k minus 2 first or not, in order to make the self-check work, it does. So it says put the smaller constant first. Well, negative 2 is not smaller than negative 5, right? Since those are negative numbers, you're more broke if you owe somebody $5 than you are if you owe somebody 2. So to actually put it in the correct order, where the smaller one comes first, I've got to change the order. So it'll be k minus 5 and then k minus 2. So voila, I got it. And now it's turned purple, so I know I did it correctly, so I can go on to the next one.